When I was 28, I had a therapist who gave me an exercise that I will never forget, but not for the reason that she intended. At that time, my life was a lot. I had just moved to Florida with my 2 kids, and I didn't have any family nearby, no friends, and I was also in grad school, and my anxiety was through the roof. So I decided to see a therapist. That's what any sane person would do, right? So this therapist was nice. I liked her. She was an older Black woman. Felt like I connected with her. She listened very well as I was telling her my story and what was going on in my life. And she had me pull out a piece of paper. And on this piece of paper, she had me draw a line, straight line across. And this was going to represent a timeline of my life. So she asked me, how long do you plan to live? And I already knew the answer to that because I tell everybody this. Anybody who knows me knows the answer to that. 100. So I write that at the end of the timeline. Then she asks me, how old are you right now? And I say, I'm 28. So she has me mark that on the timeline. And then I put a mark on the timeline for the halfway point of my life. And then she asks me my kids' ages and about how old they would be when they're more so self-sufficient, a little bit older, and when I feel like the pressure from being a single mom would ease up a little. So she had me mark those ages, the ages that I would be at that time, on the paper. And then she looks at me and says, see, look at this. Even if you don't accomplish another thing until your kids are grown, you'll still have more than half your life. Now, she meant that to come. She meant that to take the pressure off. But I stared at that paper for a few seconds. And then I stared at her for a few seconds. And then back at that paper for a few more seconds. And I said, that shit sounds horrible. It sounds like a nightmare. And I meant that. With my chest. She meant it for comfort. But it really honestly gave me an opportunity to visualize that I didn't want that. I did not want to wait decades to accomplish another thing. To do things that I wanted, which I wanted to do a little bit of traveling. And, I wanted to be able to form my own identity and explore the things that I enjoyed doing. I didn't want to sacrifice that. And just for a little backstory, I was a teen mom. I was pregnant at 16 and I had my son when I was 17. So there were a lot of firsts at that age that I hadn't even had yet. But the idea of putting my whole life on pause wasn't good. And once I was able to visualize that and the why, I realized what I wanted for my life. And I realized that maybe this is why my life is so hard. And maybe this is why I'm going to have to learn to accept that. Because there is no easy route for a single parent of 2 who doesn't have a support system nearby, who is in graduate school, who wants to do all these great things with her life. There's no easy route to doing that. And the truth is, that realization with my therapist was the wake-up call that I needed. Being able to accept that upfront, that my life is going to be hard. By the way, my dad told me that at 17. So this was a full circle moment for me of being able to recognize that for myself. It made it easier because it no longer surprised me that it was hard. It was like a handshake I was giving with life. It was a part of the deal. What was hard for me wasn't motherhood per se. It was motherhood added on to me wanting more for myself as an individual. And my version of more was going to require above average work, above average sacrifice, above average focus. But that was my dream. Nobody else's. So the point isn't in picking a hard life or an easy life. pick a life that belongs to you. Learn what you really want for your life, not what someone else wants for you. And then accept whatever path comes with that. Because that clarity is what's going to keep you from giving up when the going gets rough. And it will. And it's what's going to stop you from waking up one day realizing that you have been waiting to live. That timeline exercise did not comfort me by any means, but it did wake me up. And from that moment on, I decided I wasn't going to wait to live. And if the path was going to be hard, I could do hard things.